everyone. Merry Christmas to you all. Welcome to this special episode of Podcast Unfiltered. Special in the sense that there is breaking news. The US President Donald J. Trump, just announced on his Truth social media handle that the United States has conducted a precision strike against Islamic State elements in the northwestern part of Nigeria. As you all may recall, that back in October, President Trump did threaten that if the genocide of Christians in Nigeria does not stop, he'll be forced to intervene militarily. There's been a flurry of actions and activities that has taken place since that statement by President Trump, including Nigeria being designated by the US government as a country of particular concern. In the statement issued by President Trump today, it reads thus, says, "Tonight, at my direction as Commander-in-Chief, the United States launched a powerful and deadly strike against ISIS terrorist scum in northwest Nigeria, who have been targeting and viciously killing primarily innocent Christians at levels not seen for many years and even centuries. I have previously warned these terrorists that if they did not stop the slaughtering of Christians, there would be hell to pay. And tonight, there was. The Department of War executed numerous perfect strikes as only the United States is capable of doing. Under my leadership, our country will not allow radical Islamic terrorists to prosper. May God bless our military. And Merry Christmas to all, including the dead terrorists, of which there will be many more if their slaughter of Christians continued." Signed by President Trump. Of course, the announcement by President Trump has been followed by credible U.S. media coverage of the development. Take a listen to this to the coverage of tonight's event by Fox News.
Breaking moments ago, President Trump announcing a powerful strike against the Islamic State in Nigeria. Let's go back to Madison Scarpino live in West Palm Beach with the breaking details. Madison?
Yeah, Mike, President Trump says that strike was deadly, and he says it's because they've been targeting and viciously killing primarily Christians. Now, he just made the announcement on Truth Social saying in part, quote, "I have previously warned these terrorists that if they did not stop the slaughtering of Christians, there would be hell to pay." And tonight there was. The Department of War executed numerous perfect strikes, as only the United States is capable of doing. Under my leadership, our country will not allow radical Islamic terrorism to prosper. May God bless our military, and Merry Christmas to all, including the dead terrorists, of which there will be many more if their slaughter of Christians continues.
There you have it. The Nigerian Ministry of Foreign Affairs also issued a statement not quite long after President Trump's statement, acknowledging the action that are taking place. Here is a statement issued by the Nigeria Ministry of Foreign Affairs. Just, in summary, the statement did acknowledge that the U.S. has conducted a military strike against ISIS in Nigeria in coordination with the United States. The strike, as President Trump did note in his own statement, also indicated that the strike was in the northwestern part of Nigeria. And the statement went on further to say that Nigeria will continue to work in coordination with partners to address the problem of insecurity in the country. So now, what do we make of this Christmas Day attack? I think I may call it as such. And one of the things that we can say for sure is that we see a new level of security and intelligence coordination between Nigeria and the United States. Now, the other point is this: why does this matter? Or could this really matter, in the larger scheme of things. Why is this significant in the context of the conversation? It's established that for years Nigeria has battled Islamic insurgencies. Most notably Boko Haram, as well as a splinter group, the ISWAP, Islamic State in West Africa province, which seems to be the target of tonight's attack in Sokoto State. Now, these groups have killed thousands, they've displaced millions, they've destabilized large swaths of northern and central Nigeria. So the request, we can say, this strike came at the request of the government of Nigeria. And it does signal, to me, a deeper security cooperation between Nigeria and U.S. Forces. And I think this is highly commendable. Now, the fact that this action has taken place today does not minimize or downplay the fact that these insurgents, they are not fringe actors. We should acknowledge that they do, they control and they conduct, they control territories, as well as conducting complex attacks across, the northwestern part of Nigeria, the northeastern part, and even the north central part, that in their efforts to impose their own ideology, Islamic ideology, across those areas where they are operating. So a U.S. strike, if focused and precise, as President Trump has, really put it out in his statement, it can disrupt their operations. It can degrade their capabilities if done right. If done right, it could create a breathing space indeed for Nigerian forces to press on and, maybe sending ground forces into some of these areas. President Trump's statement did say that, a series of, precise attacks. So we don't know the full details right now. What we know is that the U.S. Strike took place in the northwestern part of Nigeria, and most notably, it appears the strike took place around Sokoto State, which shares borders with Niger Republic. So we'll wait to see what will be the full details, that will come through as the day breaks in Nigeria, because right now people are still asleep. So they will be waking up, to this news coming a day right after Christmas. Now, here is the hard truth. One strike cannot end this insurgency. Okay? It's important that this strike, whether it's one strike or numerous strike, the details we'll get to know. It cannot kill all the fighters, destroy all their camps, but it is an important step. Everybody will acknowledge, but it is not by itself. It's not alone to solve the underlying issues, the conflict drivers of violence in Nigeria, whether it's extremist ideology, issues of economic marginalization, or even community level tensions. Nigeria's challenges are complex. You have Boko Haram, you have ISWAP that have intertwined with local grievances, competition over land, religion, as well as governance failures. So militants exploit these weak institutions and these different ungoverned spaces, that one airstrike or several airstrikes will not be able to fix. Now, so the other point is, how can Nigeria, especially Nigerian forces, build on this action by the U.S. Government? Now, I want to assume that in carrying out this strike, it's not just going to be left to just this airstrike only. That indeed the Nigerian forces also have, contingency plans on how to move into those territories Several times we've gotten statements from the Nigerian military hierarchy, from the Air Force and so on, oh, that, yeah, they conducted this airstrike in so place and but we can win completely just raining in bombs from the skies. Now, we are not expecting the US to send boots on the ground, but this critical support that the US is providing Nigeria through the air needs to be backed up with some kind of plan and strategy on the ground. Like in this situation, you shock and awe them, you shock them from, from the sky, and then you awe them, the way the military forces also moving on ground, with night vision, the kind of military equipment that can make them be effective, on the ground. So I think that is very important in terms of how Nigeria can gain the upper hand. So here are my suggestions also, in terms of 3 key areas that I think Nigeria can build on this. First, we should leverage on this new intelligence sharing partnership with the US. Nigerian forces should institutionalize, intelligence cooperation that made this US strike possible. Use it to anticipate insurgent movements and also dismantle their networks. The second point is that we should strengthen local security and community trust. Counter-insurgency does succeed when forces protect civilians and build trust. So that means better training, discipline, and community engagement. I know there's been, so much talk about starting state policing. Let us not just make it another superficial structure that we say we have state policing and there is no local component to it. And I think the conversation about Nigeria advancing to having state policing, we should not forget the fact that we shouldn't be replicating the same problem we have right now with just one police force, and then we say we have a state police without the community aspect of it. Every local government, every town, every village should be brought on board in developing this plan. Of course, at a much larger level is how Nigeria integrates socioeconomic strategy. Hard power must be paired with development, providing jobs, education, as well as infrastructure in states, in regions. Our states need to come together. We have all these political arrangements. How can we make those geopolitical northwest zone, southwest zone, south-south zone, and all of that, how can we make them effective, as part of the overall strategy to deal with this problem of insurgency? Virtually every zone, geopolitical zone of the country, has a Regional Economic Development Commission. What are they doing, and how are they figuring in terms of the security architecture that the government says it is developing? So again, air support is a tool. It is not a strategy. So Nigerian forces must use this moment to improve their operational coordination, extend state presence into previously neglected areas, and pursue governance reforms, that reduces recruitment or the incentive that makes it easy for these violent extremist groups to recruit people into their ranks. So finally, I hear from you. What should Nigerians do to build on these US actions? How can we sustain this US action to contribute to peace in Nigeria? What we need are long-term solutions, robust local capacity, promote inclusive governance, as well as a national strategy that protects all communities. Do you think those are things that, the government needs to pursue? I would like to hear from you. Do you agree that this is a positive development, that the US is finally intervening, and how can we make this newfound cooperation with the US, work greatly to Nigeria's advantage? Until I come your way again, God bless you. God bless the Federal Republic of Nigeria. God bless even the newfound cooperation and partnership between Nigeria and the United States government. So long.